Cheska was the youngest of 3 siblings, a close-knit family with strong bonds. Her elder brother James was the protective, dependable type, while her sister Carla was adventurous and always one step ahead in life. Cheska, on the other hand, was a mix of both, cautious yet curious, gentle yet determined. Growing up, she always looked up to her siblings, but she was ready for her own adventures. And as her college years approached, the excitement of independence thrilled her. It was a new chapter, one where she would make her own mark. On her first day at college, Cheska was a bundle of nerves. Campus was huge, the faces unfamiliar, and the excitement palpable. She was ready for this new phase of life, eager to experience everything, from new friendships to discovering her passions. But in the crowd, one face stood out to her. A guy, classmate named Ian. He was tall, with an easygoing smile and a confidence that made him approachable. Cheska found herself glancing his way more than once. Before she even realized it, a small crush was forming. But she brushed it off, thinking it was just a passing fancy. Weeks passed, and Cheska couldn't help but notice Ian more and more. Whether it was in class, at the campus cafe, or during group projects, she found herself drawn to him. His laugh, his kindness, the way he seemed to put everyone at ease, it all made her heart race a little faster. But she kept her feelings hidden. After all, she was sure someone like Ian would never notice her like that. She was just another face in the crowd, right? What Cheska didn't know was that Ian had also taken notice of her. But he too kept his feelings to himself, unsure of how to approach her without making things awkward. One rainy afternoon, fate intervened. Cheska found herself without an umbrella, standing at the entrance of the library, watching the downpour with dismay. Just then, Ian walked up beside her, holding an umbrella in his hand. Without a word, he smiled and offered to walk her to the dorms. Cheska's heart skipped a beat, and for the first time they had a real conversation. They talked about their classes, shared jokes, and by the time they reached her dorm, it felt as if they had known each other for years. From that moment, something shifted. Cheska couldn't help but wonder if there was more to their connection than just casual friendship. But again, she pushed the thought aside, fearing that it was just her feelings clouding her judgment. Back at home during a weekend visit, Cheska couldn't hide her emotions from Carla, her older sister. Carla noticed her little sister's distracted smile and teasingly asked if someone had caught her eye. Blushing, Cheska admitted she had a crush on a guy from her class. She described Ian with a dreamy expression, but quickly followed it up with doubts. "But he probably doesn't see me that way," Cheska said. Carla, always the confident one, encouraged her to take a chance. "You never know," she said with a wink. Guys can be just as shy as girls when it comes to feelings. On the other side, Ian found himself thinking about Cheska more and more. He admired her quiet strength, her kindness, and the way she always seemed to light up a room without trying. But like Cheska, Ian was unsure of how to proceed. He wasn't used to feeling this vulnerable. He sought advice from his best friend, who gave him the simplest suggestion: "Just talk to her, man." What's the worst that could happen? Ian decided to follow through. Little did he know that decision would change everything. It was a warm evening when Cheska and Ian found themselves walking together after a study session. The stars were out, and the air was filled with that unspoken tension, the kind that builds when two people have feelings they haven't yet voiced. Suddenly, Ian stopped. With a deep breath, he turned to Cheska. "There's something I need to say," he began. Cheska's heart raced as she looked up at him, uncertain but hopeful. "I like you," Ian said softly. "I've liked you for a while now." Cheska stood there, stunned. She had spent so long convincing herself that he wouldn't feel the same, that she didn't know how to respond. But then, a smile slowly spread across her face. "I like you too," she whispered. It was simple, but in that moment, it was everything. From that day on, Cheska and Ian's relationship blossomed. They were no longer just classmates or friends, they were something more, something special. Their connection, which had begun as a quiet crush, had grown into a love neither of them had anticipated. They didn't rush things. They let their relationship develop naturally, enjoying the simple moments, late-night study sessions, shared coffee breaks, and the occasional teasing banter that always made Cheska laugh. It was the beginning of a love story, one that had taken time to unfold but was all the more beautiful for it. And so, Cheska and Ian's story begins, a love that blossomed from quiet glances and unspoken feelings. But this is just the start of their journey. What challenges will they face? How will their love grow and evolve? If you're curious to find out what happens next in Cheska and Ian's story, stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. The best is yet to come.